Hari Om. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Namo. Gurubhyo Namaha. Om. Good morning, devotees and disciples of Advaita Sagara Vidyapidam. May I take this opportunity to wish you all well. Let the God conscious be with you always today, and the day be blessed and beautiful. Our topic today is Jiva and the Avastas of Jiva. Avastas means the kind of states that Jiva goes through every day, day after day. So we call it as adjuncts of Jiva, because we know that Jiva is the reflection in Maya in the intellect. When there is a light of the self propagating through the intellect, you always know light produces a shadow. So that shadow in the intellect is called Jiva. This Jiva is nothing but the combination of all the 24 cosmic principles along with the perfect spiritual conscious principle called the Atman. But we are talking about Jiva, which is the reflected conscious. So this Jiva goes through various avastas called adjuncts. We are going to talk about that. The very first thing that Jiva goes through is the wake-up state, called in short W. It is called Jagrat in Sanskrit. This Jagrat state is the normal wake-up state, just like I am now, just like you are now. This Jagrata state consists of 19 constituents which are active among the 24 cosmic principles. The 5 Panchabhutas are excluded because they are automatically there. The remaining are the 5 pranas, the 5 karmendriyas, the 5 jnanendriyas, manas, chitta, buddhi and ahankara. Ahankara is the chief of all the principles. They all operate because of the Atman inside. Otherwise they are all insentient matter. During Jagrata, the Jiva experiences the Jagat, which is called the world, as real. It is at this Jiva, due to its ajnana or ignorance, which is beginningless, right at the time of birth, the Yoga Maya covers Jiva. So Jiva goes through the wake-up state using its 19 instruments and experiences the world. It goes through the happiness, sadness, it goes through the like and dislike, it goes through the disease and health. I am saying it in this order because, ladies and gentlemen, one is for the mind, one is for the buddhi, and the other one is for the body. So the human body, which is Jiva, consists of the gross body and the mind and the intellect. Beyond that is the soul. But the soul is completely actionless. It performs no action. It is pure witness conscious. A very important thing that you have to keep in mind for Advaita Vedanta. As we go, we talk about the witness consciousness. So, Jagrata state we talked about is the wake-up state where all experiences are experienced, and during that experience, Jagrata, Jiva thinks that the world is real, absolute real. So it is deluded, it is confused, it is deluded, and it goes through illusion, delusion and confusion. 3 parts during Jagrata. So what's are performed? Because of that previous vasanas, previous embedment of various vasanas in the Jiva, in the causal body of the Jiva. So they produce various karmas, various desires constantly, every day, and the Jiva goes to fulfill that in the world. So this is the first state of Jiva. Now coming to second state. When you lie down, when you want to go to sleep, the starting point of sleep is swapana. Swapana means dream state. I have given it in the brackets as D, dream state. Here in the dream state, the difference between the wake-up state and the dream state is, during the dream state, the external stimuli is completely stopped. There is no external stimuli from the world that reaches the Jiva. That means the Jnanendriya, the Karmendriya, they all are withdrawn inside through prana into the mind. It is only the mind that is going to perform, the Antakarna, mind consisting of Manas, Chitta, Buddhi, Ahankara. These alone create a world. This world is created by the mind during that state of swapana. When it goes from Jagrata to swapana, they lie down in a bed. They think sleep is going to come because of softness of the bed. That is not the truth. Swapana is a state in between Jagrata and deep sleep state. I'm going to describe this state a little bit more as we finish covering it and then go into the second topic today. So swapana is the reflection, or swapana can be considered as a state where the Jiva takes all its experiences of the Jagrata and produces the same during swapana. So in swapana you still have the rivers, you still have the buildings, you still have the world. And during the dream state, when the Jiva is in dream state, the world it has created is absolutely real. While it is the dream state, the dream is real. The man kills with a dagger, there is blood dripping in the dagger, his hands are all blood, he is bloody, he has created, and he panics, and he goes through all kinds of emotions just like the wake-up state. Similarly, when he does a happy job, all these things, or every one of them inside the dream is nobody but the dreamer. You have to keep that very clearly in mind. You may come into my dream, you may appear in my dream, but you cannot enter into my dream, and you cannot dream my dream. Only I can dream my dream. So in my dream, when you are coming into my dream or appear in my dream as an object, it is me who is you in the dream. So the dream state is very important. Every object in the dream state is nobody but the dreamer. So he creates his own emotions, psychological factors, and he goes through the suffering and the enjoyment. This is the dream sleep state. So with the dream sleep state, after he finishes certain dreams, he is automatically drawn deep into Sushupti, a third sleep state called the deep sleep state. This state, nothing works. Ego is dropped. All the mind and the manas, everything come to rest. He is completely actionless. So he is the closest to what is called the happiness state, the state of Turiya, which is fourth. That means he is coming very close to the Atman. But since ego is dropped, mind doesn't work, intellect is not there, and so on, he is completely engulfed in ignorance. The deep sleep state is a state of ignorance where pleasure is enjoyed. What you cannot do, yourself does it for you. The God, the Atman does it for you. It withdraws the Jiva from Jagrata into Swapana and then into Sushupti. In Sushupti, only the pranas work. the deep prana works, the mind doesn't work, so there is no world, no nothing, absolutely nothing, it is all, we cannot call it sunya because there is a witness conscious which is awake, which is Atma. So that Jiva takes completely rest in that state. It's a total rest. It is not Rajos, Tamos, the Gunas are also go to rest, the Avastas go to rest, everything goes to rest. So the man likes that state because in that state he gets the maximum uncaused bliss without a reason. That is the highest bliss. In that state, he doesn't have any reasoning, he doesn't perform any action as I said before. So every man wants, after sleep, when he wakes up after sleep, he simply says, oh, I slept very well, but I don't know what happened. I don't know who he was. He doesn't even know who he is when he is sleeping. His Nama Rupa is dropped and he is only in Satchitananda, the state of existence, knowledge and bliss. But knowledge here is surrounded completely by ignorance. So he is in state of existence, ignorance and bliss. This is the third state. This happens every day to every jiva. So it is not that a soft bed gives you a good sleep. It is sleep has to arrive by itself. There are people who lie in soft bed in the air-conditioned room and hoping to sleep, but they have some kind of a problem inside them in the mind and they never get that sleep. So they have sleepless nights. So they miss the Sushupti. And the next day it reflects on the Jagrata. So this is the normal worldly people's cycle. I'm going to say to what happens to an Advaitin. A Vedanta practice, Vedanta and Advaitin. But before I go there, I have to give a little bit information about what I have written here as Turiya. Turiya means a state that is beyond these three states. Turiya means number 4. But the 4 has got no significance here. Jagrata, Swapana, Sushupti are considered as 3 states. So the state of Turiya is the 4th. This Turiya state, you please keep it as, it is timeless, there is no time in the Turiya state, there is no space, and there is no causation. All the 3 things belonging to Maya is completely not there. That means it is a state of absolute. This state is the state that is the basis or the beginning or the container of all the 3 states. I'm going to go to the next figure here. For a worldly man, he never reaches this state because he doesn't know that Atman exists. He has no idea of soul. So he is just rotating between these 3 states, Jagrata, Swapana and Sushupti. Whereas when people sit down to meditate or use yoga, both Vedanta meditation and yoga meditation, they try to reach the Turiya state. So, as a picture here I have drawn, let me explain a little bit. W means wake up state. From wake up state, you go to a state called Swapana. Here, the beauty of that is, when you lie down to sleep, sleep automatically comes to you. All your angas, all your 24 cosmic principles are withdrawn by the prana into the mind. There is no frontier. Keep this in mind, very important. We never know when wake-up state ended and Swapana state started. This is the beauty. In wake-up state, the world experiences all exist, but in Swapana state, the same reflection of that wake-up state or the day before or some other day in the past, that alone enters the Swapana state. And the Jiva experiences, creates experiences. It acts as everybody. If a dog is there in the dream, that dog is nobody but the dreamer. If his wife is there in the dream, his wife is nobody but himself. So everything in the dream. So there is what is called Advaita. in the Sushupti state itself, because he is the only one existing. Advaita says Brahman is one without a second. So let us move from Sushupti into deep sleep state. From the Swapana into deep sleep state called Sushupti. Swapana state lasts, we never know when, because we never know our starting of the dream and we never know when the dream ends. And we never know the duration of the dream. This is beautiful. This is really something that you have no control over. You may dream a 50 year of your lifetime in 20 minutes. But in that 20 minutes, that 50 year will go as 50 years. So time is a creation of the mind. This also is another factor that proves that. So time is not an external entity as such, like the Mahabhutas, but time is a creation of the mind. Which mind? Not only individually as your mind, but collectively as cosmic mind. So it belongs to Maya. Time belongs to Maya. Similarly, space belongs to Maya. Space is also a concept of the mind. In dream state, you may fly. You may jump from a tall building without getting hurt. The space loses its property, and so it also becomes a creation of the mind. So in dream state itself, we are losing all our absolute, and we are in the state of illusion and delusion and confusion automatically. But the amount of experience of various emotions of Jiva is true. So you have to keep that very clearly in mind. If a Jiva gets his son, the death of his son in the dream, he weeps. If he gets something good, he inherits money, he feels happy. And he has bad dreams. So suddenly he wakes up in fear. If a tiger suddenly appears in his dream. So, we have talked about a little bit about Sushupti. A little bit about, Swapana. I keep on changing Sushupti and Swapana. Swapana. So from Swapana, we go into deep sleep state. Here again, the frontier, that means the crossover point, when it stopped dreaming and when it entered into deep sleep state, is completely not under our control. Not under anybody's control. It is under control of Maya. The goodness that you have, the peacefulness you have at the wake-up state decides upon your deep sleep state. Extreme Advaitins, they say wake-up state has got a lot of adjuncts. The Jiva goes through various experiences. Similarly, the dream state also the Jiva goes through mental, physical, intellectual emotions. In deep sleep state, they also have what is called 3 different states. This is extremely informative for you, not in all the books, but in specific Advaita Vedanta, in the highest Mayavatin's description. Even when you have deep sleep, you, because of the power of your karmas, you may have a good sleep, you may have a better sleep, or you may have a sound sleep. So, depending upon whether you have, every day you touch the deep sleep state, no doubt. But when you come out, you may still feel tired, you may still feel aggravated, and so on. So, it is not full. But a happy man, when he enters into deep sleep state, when he comes out, he is completely refreshed, rejuvenated. What you cannot do, God does it for you. The Atman yourself does it for you. So that is deep sleep state. From deep sleep state, again you go through the same process, come out of through Swapana, back into the real-time world. So in the deep sleep state, your Atman, that is the witness conscious, is awake. It gives you, it constantly watches you as the Jiva goes to sleep. And then, when the right time, after a certain amount of hours, a prarabdha of the thing comes from the causal body and wakes up the Jiva. So the Jiva immediately gets woken up. He goes through the same dream from the deep sleep to Swapana to wake up state. So this is the normal procedure for an ordinary, non-spiritual, worldly man. Now I am going to talk about a yogi or an aspirant or you for that matter in this juncture. You go through all the three, but at the same time, since you know Turiya, now you can sit in yoga meditation. When you sit in yoga meditation, as you know, the parts of yoga meditation, the first one is Yama, Dama, which you practice every day. So there is nothing going on. And then on top of that, you have a good seat, which is asana, and you use your prana to control both the prana and the mind. Prana is rajosic because of the movement of prana, apana, vyana, udana and samana. Whereas the mind is purely sattvic. The prana operates the mind. So, during the normal meditation time, you skip the swapana state and you skip the sushupti state. But whatever the qualities or whatever that is happening in that, you try to do that in Jagrata. That means in Swapana state, your Jnanendriyas and your Karmendriyas don't work. So you withdraw using prana, using pratyahara, which is a term for the Ashtanga Yoga. That means withdrawal of all the senses into the mind and keep the mind steady. And the mind comes under the buddhi. If you can do that in Jagrata, you have skipped the Swapana state. Now, if you concentrate on a single thought, only a single thought minus all the other worldly thoughts, the single thought normally for Advaitin is Brahman or the Atman. So if you concentrate on the Atman, your mental process is like a wave. It constantly takes some kind of a wave every time. Every time each wave is different. Each wave is different from the other. So every thought is a wave. Every thought is a wave. This normally is the function of the mind. The mind, no matter what, whether you sit in a cave or whether you sit in a plane or whether you sit in a marketplace or whether you go to the temple, it constantly gives you out a thought. Actually, scientists have proved that there are 16 thoughts compared to 16 breaths of you per minute. So that amounts to about something like 21,000 thoughts every day, approximately you get. Now, if the thought is similar, that means for a few seconds or few minutes, the same thought is coming, that thought encompasses all these thoughts. So this becomes a wave. This wave it consists of the same thought coming in. So that is what is called Ekakram. Ek means one thought, you constantly repeat that thought mentally. It will appear as if you are statically having one thought. That is one of the higher states in Dhyana. In Dharana, you get into Pratyahara, you get up to Asana and Pranayama. Pratyahara, you get into Dharana. Dharana state is this state. After that is Dhyana, after that is Samadhi, which is not in our hands. It is automatically done by the Atman. So, man what he does is, when he goes into the Ekakram, he crosses the Sushupti state too. Because his mind is no more working except on one thought. His intellect is completely under the control of the mind. The mind is not going out and the I is now on top in line with that. When you do that, you cross the Sushupti and you reach the Turiya state. Reaching the Turiya state is very easy. Everybody, when they are very deeply involved and very sincerely, devotedly perform spiritual sadhanas, they can enter into Sushupti, Turiya. But to stay there is the problem. Constantly, you should be able to stay there from Jagrata directly into Turiya, skipping the other state. I am going to give that with a different color. Wake up directly to Turiya, and Turiya directly to wake up. This is meditation. I even shown it as Turiya to wake up. In this state, these two are crossed. So what is the difference between Turiya and deep sleep state? Turiya is the state of Samadhi. As you establish yourself, or I have to say, because I am now Jagrata and talking about Turiya. So over a period of time, every 12 seconds is considered as one unit. If you can stay in Turiya with one thought, only one thought, without any other thought, for 12 seconds, you are considered to be starting 1 unit of meditation. 12 times that 12 is 144 seconds. That is 2 minutes and 24 seconds. That constitutes you to enter into what is called Sarvikalpa Samadhi. If you can do that 12 times more, it becomes 28 minutes. If you can stay continuously 28 minutes, you are already established in Sarvikalpa Samadhi, where the identification of the meditator, meditated and meditation, all the three still exist. He can be woken up after much trial by somebody outside, or he himself can drop that meditation and come out. If he continues that for 12 more times, that is 5 hours and some minutes, he is in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the highest. There, what happens is Nirvikalpam, that means there is no identification. That means the meditator, the meditated and the meditation, they all combine together and they become unity. He becomes one with the self in that state. In the state of Turiya, where after 5.5 hours if he continuously sits with one thought, no other thought at all, that one thought also goes away for him. Finally he ends up in thoughtless, fearless Brahman. This is the idea of a normal person to a yogi or a performing aspirant who is devotedly looking for liberation in life. Nirvikalpa Samadhi and Sushupti appear to be the same. Man may be sitting down with his eyes closed, with no movements, and he may be folding his hand, but he is sitting straight with his head, neck and back, and he is out of the world. For people to come out of Nirvikalpa Samadhi, nobody can bring them out, except a person who has already gone through that Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Only an illumined soul can bring it down. Normal Jagrata people, when they enter into Nirvikalpa Samadhi, they never come back. Their body falls off after 21 days. And they don't even know that. They have become one with Brahman. This is for normal worldly people. But for illumined souls, for avatars, for people who have come with a certain purpose, for the birth has taken place for certain reason or purpose, like Shivananda, like Chinmayananda, like Swami Sri Ramakrishna, then Sadasiva Brahmarendra, they all came with a purpose to teach the mankind. So they can go to Nirvikalpa Samadhi and they can bring themselves down with keeping certain kind of a ego in them as knowledge or devotion, and using that they can come down. But ordinary person loses everything and he becomes one with the universe. It is not, as I said, it's that easy. It is the most difficult, a lifetime practice for one. So, let me sum it up. The ordinary person goes through the three and he considers those as real, whereas a person of this portion, he skips these two, from Jagrata he goes to Turiya. And Turiya is a state of calmness. Surya is a state of Satchitananda. So, the dream and the Swapana he doesn't need those. He is already juvenated. He is already in bliss. He is already in the deep conscious state. So, for him coming out of Turiya, he'll never feel tired or he'll never have any dream. Now, I'm going to say, if you consider Swapana as a separate state, whatever that happens in Swapana, it happens while you are awake in Jagrata. So Jagrata is an extension of Swapana. Even Jagrata is a Swapana state. Now Swapana, it comes from Sushuddhi, because they all end up in this way. When you go in this way, they all end up in this end. And for a while they stay there, and then they come out of that. They come out of that again. So if you look at it that way, the Sushuddhi state is the basis for wake up and the Swapana. That Sushuddhi state is called the causal state. You are in your causal body. That means you have nothing except ignorance, and causal state is considered to be the Anandamaya Kosha. So you feel bliss in that state. Now coming out, you will come out the same way. Whereas a yogi in the Turiya state Turiya becomes the base of all the states, including Sushuddhi, Turiya. So it is the basis, it is the basic concept from which we have the other three states. So it is the chief Satchitananda state which everyone wishes to obtain, and Adi Shankara has written extremely lot more things about Turiya, and he prays to that Turiya. The state of Turiya, where the self shines in its own glory, let that Turiya state protect all of us. May God protect all of you. Om Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.